You're listening to the 49 Carats podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. Back with you today with another prospect spotlight. Joining me today is UMASS running back Ellis Merriweather. How's it going for you, Ellis?
I'm doing pretty well, other than the fact that I need a haircut. I'm doing pretty
well. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. Look, so we'll just get right into it. You started your career at the JUCO level, right, over there at Garden City, and then you then transferred to UMass. What was it about UMass that you felt made it the right fit for you?
I would probably say just the culture. It provided something that I wasn't too used to, just as far as like a balance between sports and education. Massachusetts being a very prevalent area with history and education, it kind of hit me in a different way when I first stepped on campus that first day, because I was initially committed to Texas Tech, and then they begged me to come on a visit. I declined it a couple times actually, but Coach Bell was persistent. I ended up getting on campus, and then as soon as I stepped on campus, I felt the energy. I felt it was the right place for me.
Awesome. So you felt like you made the right choice at the end of the day. Was there a year in your collegiate career where you felt like, you really came into your own and like the game slowed down for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I would say my junior season, because the COVID season in 2020, it was just kind of hard to get that rhythm. I was already making that transition from junior college to D1, so of course the speed's different, the talent's better, and I couldn't really get into a rhythm. So that junior year, we had all that extended time to work out and just come into your own. So yeah, that junior season, I feel like it really clicked for me, and then after that, the rest was history.
Yeah, that was the 2021 season, right? And
yes,
you really did. Yeah, you did some work in that season. You were voted 2-time captain. You were UMass's first 1,000-yard rusher, 6 touchdowns. 218 carries without a fumble. So you know how to take care of the football. What about any of those accolades meant the most to you?
I would probably say the 3-time captain. Actually,
Geez. Yeah, there we go.
3-time, but I would definitely say that the captain, just because it just showed that my teammates trusted in me. Like as good as those stats sound, there were still times after the season when I looked at the tape, I could have had more yards, I could have did more things, different runs. I felt I could have finished better, but just for them to have that trust and that faith in me, regardless of how I felt that I produced, yeah, it meant a lot to me, especially being a new guy. I wasn't there for too long, and my first year there, they voted me captain after only a couple months being there. So it just showed that I was on the right path to being a great leader.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely speaks to your character and how they felt about you, for sure. You did play some basketball in high school, apparently good enough to get some basketball offers, right? A few colleges like Rutgers, I believe, were some of the colleges that were interested in you as a basketball player. Mm-hmm. Knowing that you didn't go that route, clearly football, had a strong hold on you. So what was it about football that made that the preference for you over basketball?
Yeah, I'll say to be honest, just the fact that I had been playing basketball since I was 3 years old. That was my first. That's still my first love, But I had been playing it for so long that, for me personally, it just kind of felt like there wasn't too much more that I could gain from it from a competitive standpoint, if that makes sense. So just going through all that, I played football on and off. I played in 9th grade. I played quarterback and safety. And then I took a couple years off. And then I ended up coming back my junior year and starting playing football again. And I kind of just realized that, it had a lot more intricacy to it. And it was just a little bit more challenging and a lot more to gain from it, especially when I made that move to running back. I just kind of felt like the world was mine, and it was so much to capture in that sport. So I took the route of going junior college, took the bet on myself, and we're here right now, and I still feel there's so much more that I can obtain.
What about having played basketball, do you feel has like translated over to your football skill sets?
Yeah, I would definitely say my stamina for one. Just being able to run long distances, just back and forth in a short amount of time. And then I would probably say the route running and like my elusiveness, like because I would think about this stuff the past couple years when I was watching the tape, just about how easy it is to change direction. So like let's say a Euro step, right? A Euro step is pretty
Yeah.
much the same as a juke move on the football field, and in a little ways, it's pretty similar. And I'll probably say like my route running. When you're running routes, when we're training on the field and working on routes, when you break down, it's like you're working on crossovers. Like that's how they teach it to us. Crossover right, crossover left, break the defender down, and then give yourself separation to get open. So I definitely think that it's a lot of skills right there that transition to football.
And you mentioned having played some quarterback and even safety before too. So
Mhm.
like do you feel like any of that like kind of gives you an advantage too as a running back?
Yeah, most definitely. Just the offense. Like I know the offense inside and out, just like the quarterback
Yeah.
would. I pride myself on that, and then I just don't like being left out. So like as a running back, they only teach you so much of the offense, but for me, it's like that former quarterback in me. Like I really want to know the whole offense, even if I'm just running a swing route. I want to know what the X receiver has, what the Z receiver has, where the quarterback's eyes are going to first and second, and really know where I'm at in the progression to make sure how much time I have. See if I
Yeah.
can peek over my shoulder, make sure nobody's coming, know how much time I had to make a move. But yeah, definitely.
Well, I could definitely see a coach loving that about you. You not only do you want to know what you want, what you're gonna do, but what everyone else on the field is doing too. I could definitely see why coaches would like that, and I definitely see a lot of physicality in your running style. You're not afraid to put hurting on defenders. You're a patient runner. You follow your blocks. But you mentioned the receiving ability that you have as well, and it seems like from what I saw, you have a lot of chops, catching out of the backfield as well. So, what's the skill you pride yourself most in, based on everything I mentioned, everything you can do?
I mean, I definitely would say that pass catching ability, just because, for the most part, me being a bigger back, a lot of people really don't understand. They don't expect me to be somebody who can make moves and make people miss. They just expect me to be a bruiser. So me just being able to show that versatility, and then on top of that, my pass blocking. I know I don't get too many times to like put that in a highlight film, but just me being able to say, like, look at my quarterback in his eyes and say, "I'm not gonna let nobody touch you." And mean it, and make sure that he knows that. So he's not worried about getting hit from behind. He knows he has a little bit of extra time just to make that throw and squeeze it in that window. So I would definitely say those two, just because those are the most things that I might not have been able to show specifically on my tape. But it's definitely something that I pride myself on, and especially the way the league is going to now. Me being a big physical back on top of being able to catch and pass block, I think that it's just as value to me.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I feel like the running backs in the game, all the big ones, they have that versatility. So it definitely, that's in your favor. And you were showing that versatility at the Tropical Bowl. Congrats, by the way, on participating in that. How did it feel for you to get that invite?
Um, at first, like, cause I hadn't heard of it, so like, it wasn't that I was discouraged, but it was just like, okay, well, hopefully I can continue to be successful, and maybe I can get a Reese's invite or one of those NFL Shrine Bowls. Unfortunately, I didn't get voted to get an invite from there, but it was still a blessing to get that Tropical Bowl invite, just because I had one more chance to put on and show out. The last game of the season, I ended up, what they told me on the field was that I had broke my wrist at first, so I couldn't finish the game. It luckily ended up not being a full break, so I ended up recovering pretty fast. But that was the last game of my season, and I didn't get to finish the game. So when I got that invite, it kind of was like a chance for me to put on one more time and show everybody what I could do. And then especially the format of it, it was a lot more like one-on-ones, wide receiver, running back, tight end, one-on-one. So I really was able to show my route running ability and my hands and my catching ability. They even threw me some passes where I could jump on top of people and take it
Yes.
out their hands. So it was definitely fun.
I saw one of the clips that I think Emery Hunt posted it. It was yeah, definitely you were going downfield and you caught it. You look like a receiver catching it. Like it just looks like it
Mm,
comes so natural for you. Um I know that for a lot of guys, those like all-star bowl games, that's kind of their first taste of NFL coaching. So, what kind of struck you as the biggest difference between college coaching to what you saw, that little preview of NFL coaching?
for sure. Um, I would probably say it was just so comforting that they didn't have to beg anybody to come out and play hard. College, is everybody's coming from different levels, different places, and sometimes, at certain levels, it's sometimes you got to beg people to come to practice hard, or to play hard, or to show up on time, or whatever the case may be. So just the professionalism with the coaches and the expectation for you to be great. So like that was the bare minimum. So it just kind of made me comfortable, because it was like, okay, yeah, like this is what I've been waiting for. Every single person that's coming out here, it's just not really too much room for error, because the coaches wanted to win just as bad as we did, as if they were supposed to be getting ready to go to the draft. So just the energy, just to be great, and just to want to go out there and have that same passion that I have. That's what I want in a coach, to have just as much passion as me, or even more, so I can work up to that level.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Uh, on your Twitter, and for those of you who don't follow Ellis, it's at Ellis M_2. You have a picture of Eric
Mhm,
Dickerson and Walter Payton. That's an iconic photo.
mhm,
I was actually impressed because those are some of the old heads right there, but clearly you appreciate what they did for the game. And the reason why I say I'm impressed is like it kind of reminds me of like how they're like, new age rappers that have never listened to Biggie or Tupac, right? It's like,
mhm.
but clearly, again, you've done your homework, you've looked at some of the greats. What is it about those guys, or even current players, that you appreciate and you try to mirror into your game?
For sure. I would say, as far as those old school players, just that grit and that grind. Like the money that's put into the world now, as far as sports, is so much money. Like, people are playing for money. And back then, it was just about the love of the game. My dad, he had this VHS tape with the greatest running backs of all time, and I used to study that religiously, watch it every single day. And it had dudes like Franco Harris, Walter Payton, of course, Tony Dorsett, all of those dudes. So my appreciation started there, but just understanding the respect that they have for the game, the love that they have for the game, and that's how I approach the game. So that just kind of sticks with me. Those two guys specifically, though, Walter Payton, I mean, what's not to love about sweetness? He was
Right.
like a complete competitor, and he was the ultimate prize. Strength, physicality, and speed all in one. And then those infamous hill workouts that he used to do, running up the hills in the off season. That's something that I do for my workouts in the off season too. And then the people that I would say that I try to emulate in my game, as far as the new age dudes, I would probably say Alvin Kamara, a little bit of Derrick Henry, but I like to see myself as a little bit more agile, and just being able to change directions. Who else would I say? Definitely some Christian McCaffrey, and I would like to say Adrian Peterson is my favorite running back of all time. So just being able, like I said earlier, to be a bigger back, but still be able to move, have quick feet, and then be as explosive and have breakaway speed. Like, I mean, that's what you want as a running back, to basically be a Swiss Army knife and put fear in people's eyes when they look at you coming 20, 21 miles an hour. So
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, no, those are definitely some good people to look up to, and you'd be surprised like how many guys, like, you don't hear people mentioning those guys anymore as like people that they look up to, but clearly you're looking at the right things. You mentioned like in the off season you do some hill workouts.
mhm.
Uh Obviously right now you're training for your pro day. So what's a typical training day looking like for you these days?
Yeah, so we switch on and off every day. So one day workouts at 6 a.m. The next day workouts at 9 a.m. But as far as the schedule goes, you wake up, get breakfast, take the shuttle to the facility, and then For the first hour, 45 minutes to an hour, is more about stretching, mobility work on the hurdles, that type of stuff, doing whatever you need to do to get your body prepared. Then for like the next 2 to 3 hours, it's specific work. So like let's say the first hour is speed work or agility work. So we'll be on the ladders, might do that for 30 minutes, and then we'll work on like jumps or starts for your 40s, or just specific things that correlate to your speed, and getting working on the techniques that you're gonna need for the testing. Then the next part of it, that next hour, it'll be more of a like activity based, like that's kind of slow paced. This will kind of pick up the speed. So then like we might be on a treadmill, or they call it a wood way, where you're running,
Mhm.
getting top speed and working on that, working on your strides, stuff like that. And then after that we get into a typical workout. So that's when you're in the weight room, doing whatever the workout is for that day. Finish up with a little bit of core. Then, depending on what type of day it was, if it was arm day, probably go to the field, or they have like a turf inside the facility. So just go in there, work on different types of things, whether it's your 40 start, whether it's one of the drills, or whether you're just working on position drills. After that, then we take the shuttle back to the facility, either go to the pool, the hot tub, get some recovery, and then eat a big meal. And then for me specifically, I like to do yoga right before I go to bed. So yeah, I've been really making sure that I put sleep as a priority too. So it's not too much chill time. I'm not really sitting around playing video games all day, watching Netflix. Not right now, but get some good stretching in, maybe read something, call my mom or my loved ones and just talk to them, check up on them. But then it's right to sleep, and then we wake up and do the same thing again. So yes, I'm surprised that it went by so fast. That 2 months is pretty much almost up, because like it didn't feel like it. But I guess when you moving like that on the schedule, it kind of
Yeah, I
goes
was
pretty
gonna
fast.
say, like, when you're that busy, I think time just kind of flies. It's crazy, like how much preparation and really your whole day goes into preparing for it, even the sleep side of it, like that, because that's
Most
important
definitely.
too. You did mention doing yoga. I love doing yoga myself. What's your favorite yoga pose?
Mm. I'd probably say the child pose because it's the easiest one. Like
Okay, okay.
yeah, but I would probably say hmm, definitely the child pose, but I'll give the downward dog a good recommendation too, just because
Okay,
like
okay.
we have actual yoga classes on top of the yoga that I do in my room. I would say
Nice.
my yoga is more stretching, but in the actual yoga class
Mhm.
that we do, they're moving really fast pace, and I would say downward dog is probably the one where you get a little bit of a break in between all the other difficult poses. So yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
That's true. I love yoga. I really do feel like it does help for like all that stretching and all that, making sure like you're not sore the next day and whatnot. But is there a specific scheme at the next level you think would suit your skill set most?
Um, I kind of feel that I can be as versatile as I need to be. But I mean, I would love to be in like a pro style spread style, like a mixture of a pro and a spread, just like a balanced
Mm,
offense. I love being able to come out the single back where I have a little bit of time to just get my momentum going and get downhill. But I also like being out of shotgun and being in the offense where they have to respect the receivers, and it gives me a little bit more room in the box to work with. And allow me to go out there and empty maybe and run some routes too. So I mean, I just want to be able to make an impact. I even go out there as a receiver and block the cornerback and put him on his butt if I need to. So I
there you
just want to
go.
be out there, and whatever the offense is, I'll just make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. Because at the end of the day, it just challenges me to add some things to my toolbox. And I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you've had a chance to meet with the 49ers at this point, right?
hmm
Now, how did that meeting go for you?
It was fine. So I had met them. It was uh it was during the season that I met them,
Oh,
right before the season had started, and it was good. They asked me some questions. They came to take my measurements and all of that type of stuff. So that was good. And then my running back coach, like I told you, he he's very close with their running back coach. So I was hearing some good things. So hopefully, I might be able to get my name called and fly out there to San Francisco one day.
I'm telling you, man, Bobby Turner, he's well respected in these parts. So if you caught his eye, I mean, look out.
For
Could
sure.
mean
I mean, he's
something.
doing a
But
great job. He's doing a great job after
yeah,
watching C-Mac resurrect his career this year, So he definitely puts people in the right
yeah.
position.
Yeah, I still can't even. I'm pinching myself even to this day that the 49ers have Christian McCaffrey. It's like a dream come true for fans. But look, last question: what is a team? What is a fan base getting with Ellis Merriweather, both on and off the field?
On the field, for sure, you'll get a physical dude who loves the game and just wants to win. At the end of the day, being at UMass, it really taught me the value of winning because I only won 2 games in 3 years my whole time there. So just continuing to trust the process and come day in and day out and give everything I have and still not get the results you wanted. Like it just lights a fire inside of me. So definitely just the will to win, desire to win, and just understanding the process. And then off the field, I would say somebody who really just loves people and like just wants to be involved in the community. I've been able to do a lot of things out there in Massachusetts that have really just kind of helped me as a person. Like I feel like um, those type of things make me feel more human than being a football player, and that's the type of things that I strive for. And I'm blessed to have the platform that I do, just to be able to go out in the community and say this is Ellis Merriweather. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it for those people. I love working with kids, and anything that I can do to help those kids kind of elevate, to the level that I'm at now, because I was once in their shoes. So just being out in the community and just being a human being, just a good person who just loves being himself and learning more about himself and being authentic. So
Awesome. Hopefully, maybe this is a future Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner right here. I mean,
I'm hoping
that's
so.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome that you've dedicated some of your time to that. And hopefully at the next level you'll see more wins, right? So
Absolutely.
Ellis,
Absolutely.
it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're super busy right now, so I really appreciate you taking the time. Good luck on your pro day. Good luck on the draft and
Thank
in
you. Thank you.
this whole process and beyond.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me and reaching out.
Thank you. And for those of you who have tuned in, if you enjoyed this interview, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. There will be plenty more content like this to come. In fact, at the top of the hour, I'll have Old Dominion defensive end Marcus Haynes. So be sure to check that out. Have a good rest of your Wednesday evening, folks. Peace.
All right. Take care.